Hello and welcome to the Film Pulse podcast. This is episode number 200. My name's Adam Patterson. With me today, Kevin Rakestraw. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
200 episodes.
Well, that should be with the caveat that if someone was footing the bill for this, we would have been canceled a long time ago.
The beauty of financing projects.
We would have been canceled like 5 sentences into the first one. It would have just been someone going, nope,
that's not gonna work. Guys, this is not gonna work for you. Sorry.
Nice try.
Yeah, so 200 episodes in, we're plugging along. I wish I had something special planned for today, but honestly, I didn't realize until yesterday that this was 200. So this week we have a dreadfully mediocre show lined up.
I love that our 200th episode is Moonwalkers.
Yeah. Yep, so we're going to be talking about Moonwalkers that came out this weekend. We'll also be talking about some of what we've been watching in our watch list, and spoiler alert, I only saw one other thing that I can talk about. So, we have that lined up. Before we get into our first and only review, we got some news to talk about.
Uh-oh.
The Oscar nominees were announced.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Basically, this is going to be the last. I mean, we'll do an article on the site about the winners, but this is going to be it. Like this is it. I'm not going to be covering this anymore because it's ridiculous. Have you looked at these?
Kinda. I just went like a quick glance, and I think I made it to like the third list like nominees, and then I fell asleep.
The third set of white men, and then fell asleep.
This is like, God, this is just as boring as all the other ones.
Yeah, it's exactly what I expected. There are almost no surprises here. I'm not gonna go over the list because you already know what it is.
Yeah,
you already know what it is, guys. It's a bunch of it's again completely whitewashed like it is almost every year. There's a serious lack of women this year too. I know that's this pretty much par for the course also, but I don't know. This year it just seems more egregious because there've been a lot of great movies.
It's like, what are they doing? The fact that last year, there was so much outrage.
Yeah.
And the hashtag, Oscars so white. And it's like this year they went even further.
Yeah, remember last year at the actual awards, they tried to make up for it by having a lot of people of color do the actual awards, like present the awards.
What
are they going to do this year?
Do you realize that makes it worse, Oscars?
Of course. Yeah.
Like, hey, we'll invite you and you can hand them out to all the white people.
Oh, God. That makes it sound even.
I know. It's
doubly worse.
Oh God, what are you doing?
So yeah, I don't know what to say about these. Mad Max got nominated for quite a few, which I mean
that's kind of cool.
I'm cool with that. I'm glad that it is at least getting recognized. But yeah, man, what is going on? I mean, all right, let's just say first of all, I don't think that any one race, gender, what have you, should get special treatment. Like I feel like if this year was truly the white man's year when it comes to filmmaking, then that's fine. But the simple fact is that it wasn't. There were a lot of.
And to make matters worse, is you have a movie like Rocky and Straight Outta Compton, and they get nominations, and you're like, oh, what did they get nominations for?
All the white people get nominated.
White people.
Like
it's like what? Holy shit! Minute, you're what? Like, are you going out of your way now? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, that was kind of funny and sad really. I think that I will not be watching the Oscars this year. This is probably going to be the first year in a long time that I'm going to actively avoid them. Just because it's ridiculous and I'm tired of it.
Yeah, it's just. And another thing, because I don't know if did we like the Golden Globes? When was that? Did we
Uh,
record after that?
did we?
Or is this the first show after the
I can't remember if we did talk about the results of the Golden Globe.
couple of things about that? I tried watching the Golden Globes just because I was like, what the hell? First up, I want to know how you get that red carpet job because the questions they ask are fucking amazing. I think Matt Lauers, I think he was talking to Harrison Ford. He's just like, do you get excited to come to these things? And it's like, what kind of fucking question is? Oh my god! And then Gervais's opening thing was a fucking nightmare. And then the
I
first,
missed that.
there the very first bit, like after Gervais, is Channing Tatum, and Jonah Hill comes out with this ridiculous bear costume on, and he's the bear from The Revenant. And they bleep out all of this swearing, but they bleep out like giant chunks. And they actually
so you
missed.
have no idea what he's saying at
So
all.
like the first like 10 minutes of watching the thing, I'm like, I can't hear any of this. Like this is terrible TV. Like what is the point of me watching that? I can't hear anything you're saying. This is pointless. And that's as far as I made it.
That's why I like the Spirit Awards, because they don't bother with any of that bleeping stuff. They just leave everything in. I did not see the Golden Globes.
You didn't miss
The
anything.
Revenant won for Best Picture. I caught the very end, I believe, like the last 10 minutes or so. And I noticed that they played people off. I think they were running short on time, because if I recall, for like the last maybe 5 awards, they only gave people like 10 seconds to accept the award before they played them off. So, I don't know. Best Motion Picture went to The Revenant for the Golden Globes. Best Motion Picture Comedy or Musical went to The Martian, because, again, that's a comedy, apparently.
Well, yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
I mean, I know it's not a musical. I'm pretty sure. But, yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. That it should have... I don't think it should have been nominated. I think comedy should be comedy.
It's
The
just,
Martian was not a comedy. Sorry.
it's just
It had comedic elements, but it's not a comedy.
a lot of movies have comedic elements.
All right, exactly.
They just wanted Matt Damon to be there.
Spotlight had comedic elements, for God's sake. Actress went to Brie Larson for Room. Actor went to Leo. Good old Leo. Winning the Golden Globe. Let's see if he can nab an Oscar, finally.
Oh, boy. Can't
Actress comedy, Jennifer Lawrence. Actor comedy, Matt Damon.
Oh, man. He is like, he's one of the best comedic actors of our time.
Supporting actress went to Kate Winslet for Steve Jobs. Couldn't disagree more with that. I don't understand her role in that, because she has this accent and it comes and it goes throughout the whole freaking movie, and I don't understand how she can get an award for that. I don't get it.
You gotta give them awards. That way they keep coming.
Yeah, I guess
coming,
that's what it is.
Keep coming to your little party.
Keep going to your party. Stallone won for Creed. Kind of glad to see that. That's cool. And Iñárritu won for The Revenant, Best Director.
There you go.
All the rest are pretty much exactly what you'd expect. Inside Out won for Best Animated Film. Couldn't disagree more with that. And that's pretty much it. Keeping on the awards train, the Critics' Choice Awards
Oh my
happened.
god.
They happened last night. Now, I didn't watch this either, but holy crap, are there a lot of categories. I probably say this every year about the Critics' Choice Awards, but they give out 500 awards, I think. It's like 500 or 600
Wow.
or 800. It's out of control, the amount of awards they give out.
Jesus.
Because they do TV and movies, but they do like Best Action Film, Best Sci-Fi Horror Film, and then they do actors for each of those respective genres.
Good lord.
They give out like Best Young Actor. So they give out a shitload
Wait,
of awards.
Are we gonna go through all these? Please don't.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Let me just set aside the next hour and a half so we can get into detail on each one of these winners. No. Mad Max won 9 awards.
Only 9 out of 600? Weak. Fucking weak.
Yeah, so Mad Max won for Best Director. I'm just going through the list here. Best Production Design, Best Editing, Best Costume Design, Best Hair and Makeup, Best Visual Effects, Best Action Movie, Best Actor in an Action Movie, Best Actress in an Action Movie, Did it win any more? No, that's it. Interestingly, it did not win for best film. Spotlight won for best picture.
Wow.
Yeah. Leonardo DiCaprio won best actor for The Revenant. Brie Larson won for best actress. Stallone won supporting actor. Vikander won for The Danish Girl for supporting actress. Jacob Tremblay from Room won best young actor. Let's see. Are there any other highlights? I mean, as far as awards go, I'm more okay with the results of this. Other than the fact that Inside Out got best animated feature when it clearly should have gone to Anomalisa.
You're so hung up on Inside Out.
I think the Pixar conspiracy is real. I think that they just will automatically win anything.
I think you're right.
I also disagree with The Big Short being best comedy because I did not laugh during that movie, and I think that that's a key factor in any comedy is laughter, and we'll probably get to that in a little bit when we talk about Moonwalkers.
Yeah.
Christian Bale won Best Actor in a Comedy for The Big Short.
What?
Again, not really agreeing with that.
What?
Didn't think he was that funny in that movie. I think Bill Hader was much funnier in Trainwreck.
What the hell?
Amy Schumer won Best Actress in a Comedy for Trainwreck. I'll agree with that. Oh, that's perfectly fine. Best Sci-Fi / Horror Movie went to Ex Machina. Totally fine with that. Probably would have given it to It Follows. Interestingly, Mad Max was nominated for Best Sci-Fi and for Best Action, and it won for Best Action.
What?
It's double dipping.
Oh, you'll double dip.
Son of Saul got Best Foreign Language Film. And Morricone won for Best Score for The Hateful Eight.
Surprise.
Yeah. We have the full list of movie winners on the site, so if you missed the awards and want to check out the full list of winners, you can do that. We just put up the movie ones, because if I put up the TV ones, it would just be insane. So, that's the Critics' Choice Awards. Unfortunately, we had some losses in the world this week. David Bowie passed away. And right after that, like, what was it, like 3 days later or something?
Yeah.
Alan Rickman passed away?
Yeah.
Man, what the hell?
Terrible.
The Bowie thing was a real surprise.
Yeah, that was
I didn't know. I had no idea he was sick. I guess he was kind of keeping it under wraps. And his new album just dropped.
Yeah.
Too. Which did you listen to it? Have you?
I've been going crazy with the old records. Been playing nothing but Bowie this week.
Yeah, same here actually. At my work, we played nothing but Bowie pretty much all week.
Which I've come to the conclusion that Hunky Dory is his best album.
Oh, okay.
So just throwing that out there.
Interesting. Also, the end of this week, Dan Haggerty passed away. Grizzly Adams.
Grizzly Adams?
He did have a beard. Yes, Grizzly Adams passed away.
A lot of people passing away in the last couple months,
this week. Also, Celine Dion's husband.
Yeah.
He passed away, and 2 days later, her brother passed away.
Damn.
Yeah, it's fucked up, man. I was really upset about Rickman too, actually.
I like Rickman.
I love Alan Rickman. So yeah, kind of a shitty week, all in all.
Yeah.
Couple trailers to mention this week. 10 Cloverfield Lane.
What the fuck is this?
So
is this Cloverfield? Is this a sequel to Cloverfield?
People don't really know. We're not really sure what this is. It's like a it's a spiritual sequel.
Okay.
Maybe it's a spiritual sequel to Cloverfield. So it's directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who
the fuck is Dan Trachtenberg?
Those of you listening may be familiar with the Totally Rad Show, which was it was like a podcast. It was a video podcast that was around a while back, and I was a big fan of that show. And Dan Trachtenberg actually left the show to become a director. He did a fan film. He did a Portal fan film, and it was like a short film based on the game Portal. You should check it out, first of all. It's excellent. And because of that short film that he made, it kind of, Hollywood came a-knocking once they saw that. So.
God damn. fucking it, white men have to do like the bare minimum to get Hollywood to come knocking, don't they?
Pretty much, yeah.
I made a Facebook portal. Here's all of our money. Just make an
Well,
action film for us, please.
I mean,
You
I agree with you,
podcast
but
host.
I agree with you, but I mean, not to discount what he did with that short
No,
film,
no.
because it is excellent if you check it
I'm
out.
sure it's great, but it just seems like the leaps that these guys get to make is just insane.
Yeah, and what's happening a lot more lately too, especially because Disney seems to be at the forefront of that, where they're. I mean, I
Well,
think that's.
yeah, and they got like 34 Star Wars movies to make.
I think that. Well, I think that that's what really turned the whole comic book movie thing around. Is when they were like, "Hey, you know what? Instead of just getting jobbers to do these superhero movies so we can print money, let's actually get some interesting indie directors in on this and see what they do." And I think that that's really when things started turning around for him.
Yeah, well,
Anyway,
they got that guy that made that Portal fan film. Talk about it.
well, I think that if you check out the trailer for 10 Cloverfield Lane, it's a very mysterious trailer. It doesn't give a lot away, so I'm intrigued. I think it's gonna be a very contained film. It's not gonna be, from what I understand, most of it takes place in kind of like a bomb shelter, like a fallout shelter, and so we got 3 actors in it, from what I understand, and that's John Goodman, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and that guy from Short Term 12.
Oh, John Gallagher.
Yeah, John Gallagher. I like him. So I'm very intrigued. I don't know what to expect from this movie, but the trailer is pretty tense. So yeah, check it out. I like the first Cloverfield. I think that if I went back and watched it now, it would feel dated, just because it's found footage, and that came out right at the beginning of the whole found footage resurgence. So I think that now it'd feel tired, but back then it was definitely unique.
Still haven't seen it. I do want to see it.
I liked it. I don't know.
These
I don't know if
days.
you would like it or not. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you'd like it. A teaser trailer for Jeremy Saulnier's Green Room came out.
Ooh,
Yes.
I'm excited.
Any of you that are familiar with what I like in movies
It has
will
all of that.
will know that I am all about this one.
You're all in.
I am all in. Patrick Stewart playing a neo-Nazi who's hunting a punk rock group. Yes, please. I am all about this movie. Yeah, another very tense teaser trailer. It doesn't give a whole lot away, but I really am excited for this. Finally, Paul Verhoeven's Elle got an international trailer. So this trailer that came out, didn't post it up on the site because there's no subtitles. It's in French, and so it's difficult to really understand exactly what's happening. If you read the synopsis, it helps with the trailer, but really excited about this one too.
Where did this come from?
Where
Like,
the movie?
yeah, like I haven't heard anything about this, and then all of a sudden it just pops up the other day.
Yeah.
I'm like, Verhoeven, and it's got Isabella Huppert.
Mm-hmm.
What?
And it looks like it's going to be amazing too.
But
so
what the hell's going on here?
yeah, really excited for this one. Looks like it's going to be. I don't know what to expect with this. Definitely, it's a thriller of sorts. It's about a woman who gets attacked during a home invasion and kind of is trying to figure out who was the perpetrator. So there's kind of a mystery element, but then she's also trying to like take care of her dysfunctional family. So it looks like there's going to be a lot of elements to it, and I don't know. I could say probably we could say some early awards buzz for Hubert in this, because it looks like it's going to be a really strong role for her.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's it for the news. Let's go ahead and get into our review for the week. So basically nothing came out this week, so that's why we're going to be covering Moonwalkers.
Lie. This is for the special 200th episode.
This is a bonus for everybody. This is a treat for all of those listening. Moonwalkers. This is directed by Antoine Bardot-Jacquet.
The much anticipated Moonwalkers.
Here we go.
Biggest film of 2016.
Already. I have a synopsis here. After failing to locate the legendary Stanley Kubrick, an unstable CIA agent must instead team up with a seedy rock band manager to develop the biggest con of all time, staging the moon landing. This stars Rupert Grint and Ron Perlman. I wrote a review for this. It's up on the site now. Kevin, let's start with you. What'd you think of Moonwalkers?
I think that you covered it with that deep sigh.
Yeah.
I think you pretty much got all of it.
Yep.
This is an odd one, mostly because it's like it's got that like Guy Ritchie feel to it. They're fucking using slow motion
left and right.
Oh,
just random. It was almost as if they just rolled it. Like for each shot, they had a dice there, and they were like, "All right, 1 through 3, you use the slow mo, 4 through 6 or whatever." I don't know. They just rolled a dice.
All of them came up use slow mo because they use slow mo all the time. I think the dice is more for like the duration of the slow mo.
Yeah, so they used like a pinwheel. They had like a pinwheel that was just divided into 2 sections. It was like slow mo or no slow mo. But the slow mo part was a much larger wedge than the non slow mo.
It was like 80% of the pinwheel is slow mo, and it's like it's a crime movie with this tacked on thing of faking the moon landing, which they discuss a little bit at the beginning. The movie gets completely sidetracked and just that's thrown out the window, and then it's as if they realize like, oh shit, we have to get back to the whole moon landing thing. And then they try and make up for it in the end by, getting their feet back into the faking the moon landing shtick. And then while they're doing that, again, they seem to be like, well, this isn't that interesting. Let's do some more ultra violence, and let's do it in more slow-mo. And it's just a mismatch of ideas. There's so many things that are in this movie that just don't really make sense to me, and ultimately just completely ruin it. Like the fact that Ron Perlman is a non-veteran that has these hallucinations of what he did nom, but they don't really go anywhere. They don't, but it keeps popping up. And it's the only guess that I have is, so they could use the effects of burnt people.
That was the only thing I could come up with as to why that was happening, was so that they can use that effect that somebody came up, which was a good effect. I thought it looked good.
Well, yeah, I mean the effects in this movie do look pretty good. They look pretty good, but but that takes up such a large chunk at the beginning is him and his hallucinations, and you're like, oh, I wonder how this is going to play into the overall story, and then it just kind of disappears until he does some drugs to chill out, and then you have this long montage of Ron Perlman being on drugs, which just. Why? I mean, it looks kind of cool. Some of the effects, like the astronauts with the giant eyeball and the guy fiddling with his wires.
Yeah.
But then another thing is, they use the excuse of the swinging 60s to just try and get as many topless women into each frame as possible for no reason whatsoever. And then they even do it during his drug where he's he has the visions of his love interest or whatever the hell that's supposed to be.
Well, they don't do anything with that either.
They don't do anything with that either. But while he's like focusing on her, it's like her sitting on the couch and her lay down on the bed and her lay down on the couch. And then the next thing all of a sudden there's just a random woman beside her topless. And it's like, you're just looking for any excuse to get topless women. Because right after that, then the whole room fills up with topless women. And it's like, why? What the fuck is
this? It's a topless smorgasbord.
Like, you're just trying to get tits in everywhere you can. There's no reason for this. It's so juvenile.
Yeah, I think this is definitely the mark of a first time director. I think this is this guy's first feature, and it just seemed like he had so many ideas that he was just like, I want to put everything in this, and as a result, it's a very messy movie. It's very inconsistent, and it has no clear voice whatsoever, because there's so many different things that he puts in here that none of it really coalesces. The violence feels very out of place and random, and
well,
doesn't.
They are stuck on that effect of a head exploding.
Yeah,
they do that like
being blown
4
off
times.
Yeah, lots of heads being blown off in this for some reason. And yeah, like you said, lots of slow-mo scenes that definitely feel out of place as well. The Guy Ritchie vibe is in full effect. I mean, this is definitely the Guy Ritchie. They even played they even take the music cues and try to do the same with the music cues in this.
Yeah.
I think what was it? The specials they play in this. Guy Ritchie likes to use them as well. I think it was the specials.
And here's a small thing, but it's a big thing for me. I don't understand the inclusion of this. So you have Ron Perlman, who shows up at Rupert Grint's shithole flat that he shares with Robert Sheehan, who tries to fake playing Kubrick. So he shows up and he's like, oh, big time movie director, lives in this shithole flat with his manager, like a bunch of faggots. Now, why? What? Like, why do you need to have that in there?
They made a couple derogatory statements because he calls, or maybe it was the army general that.
Yeah, when he kind of points out that he's like, not all Englishmen are homosexuals. They just act that way. Which, yeah, kind of ridiculous. But why you got to go full on
F word?
Yeah, like what the fuck does that add? It adds nothing.
It's a period piece, man. That's just how we talk back then.
Yeah, which I can see that too, but it didn't really, like, if you didn't have that in there, I'm not at the end of the film going to be like, well, Ron Perlman's character was pretty good, but he didn't seem 100% authentic because I never heard him drop that,
Yeah.
It's just there's no reason for it. It's just something.
Yeah, I agree. It irked me a little bit too.
Because as soon as you hear it, you're just like, why? What was the point of that?
Well, that was one of the things about this is that every single character is basically just a caricature of, random 60s stereotype. You have like the stuck up, the general, the square general, and then you have like the weird hippies and
hippies.
Everybody was on drugs. The whole movie, which bothered me,
dropping their
because I found it really annoying.
It's just why?
But the thing is, it's billed as a comedy, and
it's not funny.
I didn't find any of it to be funny at all. It was all so over the top and goofy that I just couldn't take any of it seriously. I don't know if it was meant to be taken seriously, but at the same time, I didn't find it funny either in a goofy way. The only thing that made me laugh, this is a small thing, and I don't know why it made me laugh, but just thinking about it now was kind of funny. When the director that they get first met the rock star guy the wannabe rock star guy that Rupert Grint was managing, and they went to shake each other's hands, and they both had the limp wrist, and they just held him up and like looked at each other like, what do we do with this?
The only thing that made
I thought that was funny.
The only thing that made me laugh was when Ron Perlman was high and he was fiddling with that door handle. That was it. That only got like a chortle out of me where I'm just like, door handles.
There was one chortle that I had when they were trying to plant the flag in the fake moon set that they had, and they were really struggling with planting that flag in, and that made me chortle. But yeah, other than that, not a lot of laughs to be had with this movie. It just wasn't. The jokes just didn't land to me. Everything felt very lowbrow and not in a good way either.
And there was even numerous points throughout the movie where I'm thinking to myself, are we even trying to be funny? Like a lot of times, if I don't find a film funny, I can at least identify.
You can identify the humor.
Like, this is a joke that didn't work. This is the type of comedy that didn't work for me. It's just not my cup of tea. But throughout this movie, I'm just like, where where is this an attempt at comedy? Because it gets so sidetracked with, heads exploding. How many times they do that nothing in this movie works for me.
No, it was just the plot. The narrative of this is so ridiculous and illogical too that I was just like, oh god. And when something like that, when a movie like that comes along, it is very difficult for me to be invested in it because I'm just not buying any of what's happening on screen, and I can't lose myself into this movie because it's so ridiculous that I just can't be invested in it. Because I mean the way that our government acted was unbelievable. They just, this is a minor spoiler, but they basically towards the end of the movie just send a team to kill everybody. Like they just send in a group to pretty much kill everybody.
And they all come in with shotguns.
And it's just like, what?
They would not
what is
be
happening here?
Yeah, let's send in the CIA. Let's send them in with the loudest fucking guns we can find.
Yeah.
That won't draw any attention to what's going on. And we'll just murder like 80 people in this warehouse. Shotguns, and they put one guy in charge of faking the moon landing. Hey, let's get Ron Perlman, who just got back from Vietnam, and he's having a really tough time adjusting. Let's put him in charge of faking the moon landing.
Yeah, so
which I don't understand after right off the bat, where you're like, oh shit, once Perlman finds out, like, oh, that's not the real Stanley Kubrick, you're at Kubrick, you go back to see Kubrick's agent. Why don't you just be like, get me the real Kubrick?
Yeah, no, get the real one on the phone. I don't know. I don't understand why he wouldn't just do that. I also have a really hard time believing that he would think that guy was Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah, well,
and it took him that long to figure out that Stanley Kubrick is not British.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
but they try and make up for it with the fact that when Ron Perlman punches people, it sounds like he hits them with a bar of gold. Like the sound effect for him punching people is ridiculous.
Yeah, if you want to see Ron Perlman do his thing and be a badass, you might like this movie.
That's really the only selling point to this.
Yeah,
if you want to see Ron Perlman punch a bunch of people and cause some heads to explode,
yeah,
then get yourself down to Moonwalkers.
Yeah, that's really the only thing. There was a couple drug trip scenes in this movie. I think that if you have a drug trip scene in a movie, it should only be one at most. I hate drug trip scenes for the most part, and the ones in this movie were particularly annoying to me, especially the one when the guy took shrooms and was trying to talk to Rupert Grint, and they added the whole like
where they just
effect thing with his head.
Yeah.
That lens thing.
It's just all these excuses for them to just do some effects. It looks more like a demo reel than like an actual movie.
Yeah.
Because there's so many portions of this where they just go, montage music video style.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a waste of fucking time.
Yep.
Wasted my fucking morning.
Yeah, I was not into Moonwalkers. If you want to see Moonwalkers, it is playing in limited release on VOD right now, so you can rent it if you so desire. Not so sure the Harry Potter fans are going to be into this one with old Rupert Grint.
Rupert Grint.
All right, let's give this thing a score. I gave it a 3 out of 10, and that's, looking back now after this review, that's a generous 3. That's a really generous 3.
Oh man, I'm gonna give it a 2.
All right, there you have it. That's Moonwalkers. That's our big 200th episode review.
Moonwalkers.
Sorry. Sorry about that.
All of our podcasts are just a series of us apologizing.
Yeah.
It's just one apology after
another. I'm gonna change the name to the We're Sorry podcast and just
sorry
about this.
All the names that we've butchered over the years.
I would like a supercut of
just all this
that of the struggles. Please
do that. Please work on that. Just a a supercut of us butchering all the names, all of them,
Yeah.
all of them. I don't know if you have enough time to do that.
Yeah. There's a lot. It happens a lot. Almost every episode, I think.
Yeah, yeah, it is every episode.
We could say there's at least 200 name fuck ups on our show.
Minimum,
At a minimum.
minimum 200.
The best part is when we see additional films by the same, director, actor, etc., and we don't learn the actual name in the interim.
We end up fucking it up with like 12 different
multiple
ways.
times. Yeah.
We come up with new ways to fuck up their name.
I think what we need to do is just say the name, and if you fucked up, don't dwell on it. Just move past it.
No, someone needs
the problem that we dwell on it, and we make like 5 attempts to
just
pronounce the name. It makes it so
just
much
keep
worse.
Digging that hole deeper.
Yeah.
Someone needs to come up. Someone needs to make a database of just all the names in film and just the correct pronunciation.
Yeah.
Let's work on that.
Well, see, the problem is that the type of movies that we watch and the type of movies that we typically cover on this show are not the mainstream movies where you hear the name being spoke a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but let's not overlook the fact that we could probably do like a little bit of research.
Oh, maybe, but I mean,
but
even
we're so unprepared with what we do.
No, I mean, sometimes I do try to find interviews or whatever where someone's name is being pronounced, but I mean, what's the big deal anyway?
But I do love the couple of times that we've done that, and we focused on one like interview or something where they say their name, but that person fucked it up.
Yeah,
and we take it as the correct way, and we just perpetuate it.
Yep. Anyway, let's talk about some of what we've been watching. As I said, I only have one movie, so we'll start with you, Kevin.
I started off the week with Fox and His Friends from 1975. This is
Fox and Friends?
Fox and His Friends. I don't think that the Fox show
News?
is based off of this.
Fox News show?
Because this is a Fassbender movie, and I don't think they would really be into this one at all. I saw this on Hulu, and they have almost all of Fassbender's movies on there. It's rather predictable given the storyline, and then on top of that, it's a bit overlong because it's like 120 minutes, like a little over 2 hours or something like that. But storyline makes up for it. Performances make up for it, especially Fassbender, who actually plays the lead character, Fox, who starts off as a guy that is a talking head at a circus show, just his head. And the best part is he wears a denim jacket, and on the back, Fox in rhinestones.
Oh.
Yeah, pretty bad.
Nice.
Pretty badass jacket. What this guy does is he kind of cons people or tries to get money out of people just to buy lottery tickets. He's obsessed with the lottery because he's going to strike it big. He does. He wins a shit ton of money. And then he gets these new friends, hence Fox and His Friends. See? It all makes sense.
I got it.
These new friends, they're in a different social class, So he's moving up the ladder, but he's not really fitting in. He's having trouble fitting in. And they start fleecing him for all of his money. He's helping his new boyfriend get his company out of financial danger. He's buying new apartments, fancy furniture, getting these new suits, ties that look like dinner napkins, fucking getting everything, right? And as you can tell, I'm telling you the storyline here, you can pretty much venture a guess to how this is all going to end for him, which is the predictable part of this is at the beginning, it's kind of mapped out for you. You can see exactly where this is going to go. And it doesn't really surprise you. It goes exactly where you think it's going to go. It is interesting to see Fassbender doing yet another movie where his main character is like seen as playing the victim and woe is me and all that. But it is interesting to kind of see that he never paid for anything before he made all this money, and then the people are fleecing him after he wins all this money. And he tries to make this, make these comments on class and, everything like that. But it's kind of, I saw it as more of a comeuppance for Fox himself because he's been doing it for years and now it's happening to him. So, but the way that they said it, you have when the proletariat does it, it's fine. It's him surviving. But then when you have the bourgeoisie doing it to him, then it's, oh my God, these people are terrible. But they're both doing the same damn thing. And a lot of the visuals make up for it too. There's some great sequences in there.
Cool. And that's Fox and His Friends.
Fox and His Friends.
Available on Hulu. I saw a movie called In the Basement, directed by Ulrich Seidel.
Ooh. This is okay.
Yeah. This is a relatively new one by the guy who did the Paradise Trilogy, which I was a huge fan of. I gotta say, I love this guy. I'm gonna go back and try to watch more of his filmography because I am definitely in to this guy's stuff.
Well, you share that with my wife.
This is
because that's what she's doing this year. She's going to try and see all of his. A lot of them are on Fandor, actually. Just a heads up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a decent amount of them on there.
Well, I will be. I'm gonna probably start going through shortly and just try to check out all his stuff because this is the fourth one that I've seen, and I was a big fan of it. At first, I loved it. Then it started to lose me. And then by the end, the aftermath, as in a couple days later, I was still kind of dwelling on it. I was still thinking about it, pondering over it, if you will. And yeah, so it's a pretty. I don't know what to say about this movie. So basically, it's a documentary, and it kind of just explores the lives of people and what they do in their basements. And it sounds kind of boring, but the stuff that these people do is not necessarily boring. First of all, I don't know how I found these people. Some of them are pretty like droll. Like he'll cut to just a basement that has a couple washers and a dryer in it, and it's just people standing there. And he kind of positions them like he frames them, and he just has them stand there. And they don't say anything. They don't do anything. They just stare at the camera. And he fixes the camera in place, like on a tripod, and just has it there. And it'll just static shot for like 10 seconds or 15 seconds. And then he'll cut to the next thing. And it's like, huh?
Just them hanging out doing basement stuff.
Yeah. But not even that. Like literally just standing there doing nothing. And then he'll cut to like one of the early ones is a basement that there's nothing in it except a giant aquarium that has a huge freaking, I don't know if it's a boa constrictor or a python or some giant snake, and it eats a gerbil, or not a gerbil, a guinea pig. It eats a guinea pig. And you just see that. It's just a guy hanging out watching. It's definitely a weird little movie. There are some shocking moments. There was one moment in particular, and there's a lot of kind of sexual stuff in it too, which that's when it started to lose me, when it started going into, because like one of the people is they're like a sadomasochist, and there's one couple that's kind of like a submissive what is it BDSM.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The like the bondage where like the female was like, she was like his master, and she like made him clean the toilet by licking it and stuff.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there's some gross stuff. There's a lot of gross stuff in it. There's a lot of wiener going on in this movie.
There's actually a lot of penis in Fox and His Friends too. Just a heads up.
Oh, okay.
Which there was one. Sorry to cut, but that just reminded me of something. On Letterboxd, when I was, I read through reviews after I write mine, and there was one guy where it's just like he's just going through like just says like basic statements in sentence form, and then like the fourth one is just like most of the characters are homosexuals, and then just back on to like the movie itself. And it's just like what? Why?
That's a key. That's a key.
Why is that a sentence you threw in there?
That's a bullet point.
Apparently.
So yeah, a lot of the ones that deal with the couples and the people that do sex stuff, didn't find that too interesting. It was okay, I guess, but that felt like this stuff was kind of in there more for shock value. But there was one that literally made me gasp. Like I can't remember the last time I went like that while watching a movie. But and it was funny because it was like I was watching this by myself, and it was like a completely involuntary thing. Like it caught me by surprise, so much so to the point where I actually audibly gasped. And it wasn't anything. It's nothing. It's nothing horrific or anything, but it's just because you spend a little bit of time with this character before this reveal happens. So it's just really shocking. And yeah, it's just an interesting movie. It's not for everyone. I think most people probably will not like this. Because it's just people in their basement doing their stuff.
Doing basement stuff.
It's pretty short though. It's only 81 minutes long, so it gets in and gets out pretty quickly. One of the people that you spend a bunch of time with, he works at a gun range that's in a basement, but he likes to sing opera. So he'll be hanging out in a gun range singing opera with his old dog. And then occasionally he'll shoot a gun or two. It's just a weird little movie. It is very, very odd.
Well, basements are a weird place.
And if you look at any of the posters, you'll see that it is very odd. Especially the one on Letterboxd with the naked woman in the cage.
Jesus.
She just hangs out in a cage sometimes. Whatever.
Wow.
So anyway,
Basements.
That's in the Basement, available on Netflix.
Basements. What a weird place. I rewatched Tears of God, which we discussed a little bit during our year-end podcast. I think that was the one. I'm not sure.
Probably.
I don't have a good memory when it comes to this stuff. Rewatched this one in order to write a review. And if this comes out this year, this is one of the year's best. I'll say that again. So there's that. Obviously, I have a review up on the site, so you can check that out. But my God, do I love this thing. The visuals alone are just fantastic. And you got a mix of, you got your static stationaries, got those static shots, which of course they kind of linger for a while, a little bit more than maybe necessary, but that adds that sense of menace that you can do with the static shot. And then you have, on the other side of things, you have these like untethered wandering camera work going on, kind of like Malick, but not Malick at all, if that makes any sense, which it probably doesn't. But
I kind of get what you're saying.
But it's more so where someone has a camera in their hand and they're just walking around, because there's one sequence in particular. Samuel Herring, who frontman of Future Islands, plays like a priest who's running this little church, this place of worship or whatever. And it's in this like rundown auditorium or movie theater or whatever it is. And while he's given his sermon, the camera is like walking through the aisles and like comes down to him and then walks to the back of, like the back row, and then goes down that row and comes down the other side, comes down through this aisle. And it's just all over the place while he's giving this sermon. And it works really well in the sense that it complements the other. But then also when it finally, because throughout the entire film, you're wondering what the hell's going on? Why are these people doing these things? There is a decent amount of violence in this movie, and it's really unflinching when it happens. It's just like extreme close-ups of people being stabbed and stuff, which is very disturbing. But it never really tips its hand as to what's happening, what's going on, why are these things being done to other people, until the very end, where it gives you a little bit of meaning and kind of explains the actions, but at the same time, it makes them even more so opaque and cryptic than they were to begin with, even though it explains them. It's extraordinary. So keep an eye out for this sucker when it comes out. This is directed by Robert Hillier Barnett.
How'd you see this?
This is American Indies, man. This is American Indies. Gotta get them. I got a screener.
Oh.
Got the old screener.
Yeah, I want to check this one out.
Oh my goodness. The landscapes. The snow. There's one sequence where it's just Caitlin Scheel just wandering around in the snow, and it's like a complete whiteout, and it just looks amazing. It's just her wandering around, and you just got the camera following around. And it's just like, I could watch this for 70 minutes. Honestly.
Cool. That's Tears of God.
Tears of God. And you're done, right?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. Yep.
You just watched the Basement movie, and then
Well,
you're
again,
like, oh, I'm done.
I've been, I've been continuing my festival stuff,
Oh yeah, that's
so
right. That's right.
we'll
You're
be
going
talking more about
going hard on
Slam
that
Dance and
slam
Sundance and
dance.
all that. Yeah.
I also started, so it was kind of hard for me to. I've been trying to squeeze some movies in here and there because I started making a murderer, and that's been taking up a decent amount of time.
Yep.
So I saw another Howard Hawks movie. So this is my second in as many weeks. Going hard on Howard Hawks in 2016.
Hard on Hawks,
Hard on Hawks.
2016.
So I watched one of the classics, The Big Sleep from 1946, with Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall, based on a Raymond Chandler novel, and getting some screenplay help from William Faulkner, which again, kind of shows my ignorance. I didn't know Faulkner was in the movies. This is right up your alley, Adam.
All right.
It's a movie tailor-made for you, that old school noir feel, and it's just rapid dialogue, snappy script. Script is tight, dialogue's great. Some of the old-timey dialogue comes off a bit humorous now in 2016, and I mean humorous in the like what the fuck type of sense, where you're just like, are you kidding me? Humphrey Bogart is trying to get this guy at a bookstore. So he goes to the bookstore across the street because this town has a shit ton of bookstores, apparently. And there's a woman working there, and they start flirting. And she's like, well, it's raining. You got to wait for this guy. So why don't you just kind of hang out here? And he's like, well, I do have a bottle of bourbon in my pocket. So he's just carrying around bourbon. The 40s must have been amazing. So she's like, oh, let's close the store. She closes the store because this guy has a bottle of bourbon in his pocket. Imagine that playing out now in 2016. If you went into a bookstore, you started flirting with one of the employees, and then you were like, I have a bottle of bourbon in my pocket, they would call the police. So they go in the back room. She's wearing glasses. So he starts getting his stuff out, and he's like, do you have to? Do you have to wear the glasses? Like, Humphrey Bogart's he is against glasses for some reason. They just make her look terrible, apparently. So she takes off the glasses, and of course she turns around, and it's, oh my God, she's amazingly beautiful now that the glasses are gone. And he's in the middle of saying, like, small things can really make huge improvements. And of course she spins around during this time in the middle of that sentence. He's like, oh, hello, you're actually gorgeous. And it's like, fucking Christ, they're just glasses. And then, he's slapping women left and right. And he even makes a point of, like, the one time it's like late at night, and he's like, I don't slap too well at this time at night. It's just what the fuck? Why is like, do you get tired of slapping throughout the day? Like, how often are you slapping people? And then Lauren Bacall's at this. There's this gambling den that he goes to, which is a fantastic shot. He goes into the lobby of this because he's going to meet this guy that's involved with this huge crime caper that's going on. There's all these bits and pieces to it that he's figuring out. And when he walks into the gambling den, they kind of have the camera in the middle of the lobby, and they kind of do a pivot point scan of all the different rooms and stuff. And it looks fantastic. And Lauren Bacall's there, and she's singing a song, a little ditty. And the song is all about, like, domestic violence, about, like, a husband beating the shit out of his wife or his girlfriend. It's just, the main point is it's a man beating the shit out of a woman, and the woman crying and stuff. And this is a fun song. Like, people are harmonizing with her, and they're just having a great time. And all the lyrics to the song are about a guy beating the shit out of a woman and her crying. And that was, like, entertainment back then. So not only did women have to put up with men slapping them and beating them, they also got to sing little ditties about them to entertain men. Jesus.
Wonderful.
It had to be such a fucking rough time. My God.
Yeah.
But I kind of got sidetracked by all that stuff. The noir stuff is great. It's fantastic to see there's so many characters in this movie and so many moving bits to it. And it's a bit difficult to keep up with because there's so much going on. But man, it's pretty fantastic.
Cool. That's The Big Sleep classic.
Big Sleep.
The old-timey accent that you're referring to is actually called the transatlantic accent.
The transatlantic?
Yeah, I did some research on it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called the transatlantic or mid-Atlantic accent. And one of the theories behind why people used to talk like that in movies was due to technological restraints because of how audio was captured. The like the bass technology was not really there. So they had to pronounce things in a very specific way in order for the audio to pick it up clearly.
That makes sense. I'm gonna have to read up on that. And another interesting thing is, Lauren Bacall is a great actress and everything, and this is one of her big movies. I mean, she's fine. I wasn't really that blown away by her performance, but the woman that plays her sister in this movie, Martha Vickers, her character is kind of out of place, but fantastic in the sense that she feels like she's from a different time period, like a different time period of movies. Her character is so bizarre. She's just so odd, and every time she shows up, it's like she's from the future. And it's like you do not belong in this movie. Everything's like really old-timey in that classic Hollywood sense, and then here she shows up and she's just completely different, and she's bizarre, and she's acting very strange, and she's high most of the time, and it's just, I wish she was in the movie more, honestly.
All right, let's go over some predictions. Right along to, you said 38, I said 41, actual 14.
Yeah, okay.
13 hours, Secret Soldiers of Benghazi. Ugh, God. Even the title for that movie is ridiculous. We have a review for this up on the site, actually, and Blake gave it a 6 out of 10, so he actually thought it was pretty good.
I actually heard, like, decent things. Like, that he actually does a good job.
So, 13 hours. You said 20, I said 42, actual 59 on that.
See? Look at that.
This is the best one of the week here. Norm of the North. You said 0. I said 12. Actual 0.
Yes! Yes!
Oh my God.
Is that the first time either one of us has ever nailed a 0?
Accurately predicted a 0, yeah.
And well, now that makes the whole 200th episode, like, it's actually special now.
Yeah.
0.
It is a milestone.
Zeroed in on the 0, nailed it.
It is so rare that because there's ultimately somebody somewhere is gonna like.
Well, especially a movie like that where it's like an animated feature,
right?
Because it's gonna be someone that's gonna be very generous and be like, "Well, it's for kids. It's not that bad."
Yeah. I mean, we read some of the reviews out for Alvin and the Chipmunks Road Chip.
Yeah, I mean Road Chip got some favorable reviews.
What was the? I'm just gonna say it right now. I liked this movie or whatever. Oh, that was great.
Oh man.
Yeah. So, Norm of the North, apparently not great.
I've been looking forward to this moment ever since we started, and it kind of justifies all the time spent with everything that we've done. You know, watching movies like Moonwalkers and Enter the Dangerous Mind and all that shit. Oh, finally did
EDM.
EDM.
All right. Next week, you do a pretty good job of avoiding those, though. I'm usually the one that gets hit with.
Well, this is usually when it happens too.
Yeah,
it's when we're in the graveyard shift here, and there's nothing fucking coming out.
Yeah,
so we gotta just bottom of the barrel watching Moonwalkers.
Well, unfortunately,
I think like Galaxy Quest or something instead.
Well, you know, I was gonna do that. I was gonna try to get with you and like see if we could do like a Bowie retrospective or something, but it just the timing.
Yeah, we just didn't
have enough time to put it together.
Plus, I don't feel comfortable being flippant and irreverent when someone just passed away.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like talking about their films, and it's kind of don't want to do that.
Next week is gonna be a lot like this week, I think. Unfortunately, we have The Fifth Wave, which is the
trailer for this.
It's a young adult.
The trailer for this just makes it look like one of the worst things.
I don't think I've seen the trailer for this. I know that it has Chloe Grace Moretz, but that's really all in it. It's like a post-apocalyptic thing.
Yeah,
I think right.
And there's 5 waves.
Oh, there's 5.
Yeah.
Five. Okay.
What's this?
5 waves? 5 waves of what?
Well, they explain it to you all in the trailer there. What's it? Okay. Yeah, they're like 4 waves have already hit, and I guess this movie is it's about the 5th wave coming.
Like literal waves, or is it like
There's
waves of
like
the
wave,
apocalypse or
yeah,
something?
like waves of the apocalyptic stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Aliens coming.
I'm gonna say 20 on this.
The first wave is darkness. Wave 2 is destruction. Wave 3, infection. You always have to have infection in there.
Of course, yeah.
Wave 4, invasion. That's when the aliens come. 5th wave, who knows what the fuck's gonna happen? Gotta watch.
Fifth wave? Party
wave.
time.
that would be interesting if the aliens came down and they just wanted to hang out.
Yeah.
And have a good time. That'd be different. I'm gonna say 20.
That's what I said. You can't pick my score.
I forgot. 18.
All right. Next, okay, we also have The Boy. This is a horror film.
Is this the one you saw?
No,
Okay.
that's a different one.
A lot of movies called The Boy.
I think the one that I saw, the one with Rainn Wilson, that was just called Boy, I think.
Okay.
That one was good. Seek that one out. This
No,
one,
that
I'm not
one's
so
called
sure.
that one's called The Boy.
Is it?
Sue him.
Ah.
Sue him. Craig William McNeil.
And they're both horror movies, too, so
Yeah,
it's
That's some
like,
shit.
yeah, I mean, if they were completely different. This one's about a doll that comes to life or something.
This is fucking doll shit.
I
I love that the horror films, like, to start with, yes, dolls are creepy.
Sure.
And then there's been so many horror films made about creepy ass dolls that I don't find dolls creepy anymore because they've kind of been rendered humorous from all
I
these.
have no desire to see this movie at all. Like the only killer doll movie that I will probably seek out would be if they make another Child's Play movie. Anytime that a Chucky movie comes out,
You're in.
I'll probably go see it. Because I actually liked the last one that came out a couple years ago. I like that series. So
I gotta give this a score.
Yep.
27.
Okay. I'll say 24 on that one. 24. I think that is. Oh no, wait, no. There is another one here. Dirty Grandpa.
Ooh.
No, Dirty Grandpa. This looks terrible to me. I have no desire to see this
Someone
whatsoever.
sold this idea. Another person bought this idea, and they got a bunch of people to sign up for it. That just blows my mind.
What happened to Robert De Niro?
And the fact that you get Robert De Niro to be one of the people to sign up for it, it's just. I hope there's a documentary about this at some point in time, with how all this came about.
Did you ever notice how all of the classic actors from back in the day, like, you know, De Niro, Walken, Pacino, they're all doing these goofball comedies now?
Yeah, it's. I wonder if they make them.
I don't know what's going on with that.
It's the only way to give roles to.
That's the equivalent of like putting them out to pasture.
Yeah.
Making them do
you have
goofball
to do-
comedies
you have to
until
do-
they fade into obscurity.
You have to do these comedies if you want to keep working.
All right. Dirty Grandpa. I'll say 36 on that one.
I'm going to say 32.
It's directed by the guy who did a bunch of the Sacha Baron Cohen stuff. He did like some of the Ali G stuff, and he did what was the last one? The Dictator. The was it just called The Dictator, or
What was?
I think he also did Bruno.
Yeah, The Dictator.
Yeah, I think it's the same director.
He also directed 5 episodes of Dog Bites Man. If you remember that show from Comedy Central
Yes, I do.
with Matt Walsh and Zach Galifianakis
Yes, I do remember that.
and Andrea Savage.
I forgot about it until just now when you
Same
mentioned
here.
it.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, "Wait a second, is that show?"
Yep, I remember that show.
I enjoyed that show.
Me too. I think that's it for wide releases next week. In limited release, we have Mojave, Terminus, Nas and Malik, Ip Man 3, which features Mike Tyson for some reason. Not sure why.
Interesting choice.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that's gonna play out. Synchronicity, Monster Hunt, which is a very, very popular Asian film. I
Okay.
think it's actually the highest grossing
Really?
film in China, I want to say. Yeah, it's huge. I think it's like a Pokemon type thing.
Okay.
Affirm or Affirm?
See, this remember this for the supercuts.
Yeah, I heard good things about it, but I don't know how to pronounce it because I'm an idiot. Martyrs, which is the remake of Martyrs. Got to have that English remake in there.
Oh, and especially like after a lot of time has passed, and then
Yeah,
usher it out in January. Perfect decision.
I'll be seeing it. I have a screener, so
Nailed
I'll
it.
be I'll be reporting
Who's
back on that
is
one.
anyone like actually in this?
No, it's a no. I don't think it's going to be a good remake. I think it's going to be bad. But the interesting thing is, like in all the press emails and stuff I get about this movie, it says it's a reimagining. So presumably, it's going to be have some different stuff in it than the original one.
Yeah.
However, the fact that they're calling it a reimagining,
Where
to
is
me,
he?
that doesn't bode well. Like that's not a good buzzword to be using in this case.
Yeah.
Basically, it means it's probably going to be like a cheap knockoff of the original.
Yeah.
And Prescription Thugs. That's a documentary about the prescription drug business.
Okay. All right.
Next week on Video on Demand, I believe Synchronicity comes out. I think Martyrs comes out. Do I have anything else on this list? No. That's all I have on that list. Blu-ray. Next week we have Straight Outta Compton.
Oh,
Check that out. It's
I
good.
do want to see that. I do want to see that.
I do think that I don't think I liked it as much as everyone else did, but I still enjoyed it. I thought it was quite good. Let's see. Nightmare Weekend from 1986 is getting a Blu-ray release. Kind of into that. Everest, The Intern, little Robert De Niro comedy.
Ooh.
Anne Hathaway. Love 3D. I didn't hate that as much as Enter the Void, but I would still probably not recommend checking it out. The Diary of a Teenage Girl. I've been meaning to watch that.
Yeah.
Mostly because we had the animator from that movie do some stuff for our site, and I think that's really cool. Gem and the Holograms.
Oh,
Uh,
there's a small part of me that wants to watch that.
I know, same here. I was just gonna say that. I want to
Curiosity.
see how much of a train wreck that movie is. The Condemned 2, which is interesting because the first one was terrible, and like 10 years later, they're coming out with a sequel.
Never stops. Never stops it.
Yeah, not really sure why. Let's see what else. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I got here.
All right.
We got on the Criterion front.
We got two criterions. One, Inside Llewyn Davis, Coen Brothers.
I love the cover for this.
That's coming out. And it's quite jam packed. Got the audio commentaries, interviews. You got an inside documentary making the film. You have a 101-minute concert documentary celebrating the music of the film. You got interviews with Tuba and Burnett, the Coens. It's just so many things. So many things in this. It's ridiculous. Jam packed. You got that coming out, and then you got Gilda from 1946 by Charles Vider with Rita Hayworth. That's coming out on the old Blu-ray.
Cool.
Which I'm sure I will probably check this one out because I'm trying to watch more of those classic Hollywoods, 40s and the 50s, and it's a huge blind spot that I have. That's why I'm going hard on that Hawks.
Hard on that, Hawks.
Gotta go hard.
Yeah, I hope to watch more classic films this year too. I'm taking a little bit of a different approach this year to my movie watching. Last year, I just tried to watch everything that I possibly could that was like new releases, like new stuff.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to take a much more selective approach this year, or at least attempt to, if I can. It's really difficult when you're trying to cover so much on the
Well, that's
site
the
and
thing.
all
You
that.
always end up getting sidetracked. Like at the end of the year, it all goes out the fucking window because we played so much catch up
Yeah.
on our 2015 releases. Then you got, when stuff like Slam Dance comes around, and those types of thing, that sidetracks for a little bit of time.
Yeah, I know, like, because this is really the perfect time to be watching classics when there's just nothing coming out. But then it's like, well, if I don't start covering the festivals, then I'm gonna be behind with that, and I want to definitely cover these festival releases and stuff.
Well, another thing that I did is I saw this on Twitter. I guess it's kind of like this pledge from womeninfilm.org, about 52 films by women. You watch one a week for a year. So I did that because that was one of the things that I was like trying to do a little bit more of this year as well. Besides the classic Hollywood, try and watch some more films by women. Because last year I thought that I did. I was like, well, I watch plenty of movies by women. And then I kind of like went through and I was like, oh shit, I didn't really watch that many at all. And then when I made this pledge, I thought I got on Letterboxd. I'm like, well, I'll go back. I've already watched like 14 films this year, so I'll go back and retrospectively put the ones that were directed by women. I'll add them to my list. Well, out of those 14, none of them were directed by women, which I figured like at least 2 of them had to be, but apparently not. So I'm also doing that as well. We'll see how that goes.
What's the website again?
womeninfilm.org.
So go to womeninfilm.org and check out the pledge there and try to help promote women in film, because it's definitely something I think we all need more of and want to see more of, for sure.
Without a doubt. And then there's also, they got like if you go to womeninfilm.org /52-films, they have even like a list to like help you out. There's a list of like 68 films by women. There's a list of 25 best films by women. Little White Lies has like 100 great films by female directors. There's like to help you out if you're looking to start somewhere.
Yeah.
But I'm worried that I'm already,
You're already behind.
I'm into week 3 and I haven't seen any. It's not good.
I'll have to look and see if because I didn't really watch much so far this year, but I'll have to look and see what I have. I could try to do it too.
Give it a shot.
I have a good, I don't know, for some reason I have a good feeling about 2016 as far as like women in film. I think that they will once again be completely snubbed when it comes to like awards and things like that. But
they're going to be ignored, unfortunately. But it doesn't mean that they're not out there making great films.
Exactly. All right, I think that's gonna do it for this week. Stay tuned. We are going to be coming back with Ryan Watches a Movie. Scheduling has prevented us from doing an episode, but I promise you,
this guy
will be.
He's busy. He's a busy.
He's so busy right now. I think the fame has just gone.
And then his day trading and his lab work. There's just so much that this guy's doing.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll be back this week. We're gonna try to work it out so that we can get back on a normal schedule with that. I did assign him a movie this week, so hopefully we'll be back. We'll be back at the end of the week with another episode of Ryan Watches a Movie. Thank you so much for listening. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. You can follow us on Twitter @filmpulsenet and @filmpulsekevin. And please take a minute to look at our Patreon page. Patreon.com/filmpulse is the address you can go to for that. Consider helping us out. We're a small indie site, and we rely on your support to keep running. Coming up on this show this week will be the beginning of our Slam Dance coverage. We have, I believe, 18 movies that we're going to be covering for Slam Dance, somewhere around there.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that. And then next weekend, we may end up just talking about Slam Dance for the show. I'm not sure. I'm not going to Sundance this year, so unfortunately, my coverage of that will be limited. But stay tuned for festival goodies. For Kevin Rakestraw, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.